The Atlantic Ocean has always inspired two emotions more than any other place on Earth: wonder and fear. For thousands of years, it has carried explorers toward new continents, connected civilizations through trade, and challenged sailors with its enormous power. But hidden within these endless blue waters lies a region that has fascinated historians, scientists, pilots, and storytellers for generations. A place where ordinary voyages seem to become extraordinary mysteries. A place where ships vanished without sending distress calls, aircraft disappeared from clear skies, and questions remained long after the search had ended. The world knows this place by a single name: the Bermuda Triangle. For decades, the very mention of the Bermuda Triangle has sparked endless debate. Some believe it hides forces beyond human understanding. Others argue that every disappearance can be explained by science, weather, and human error. Between these two perspectives lies one of the greatest mysteries ever associated with the modern world. But before we explore the theories, the legends, and the evidence, we must first understand why this particular region became so famous, while countless other dangerous parts of the world's oceans remained largely forgotten. The Bermuda Triangle is commonly described as a region stretching between Miami and Florida, the island of Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Together, these 3 points create an imaginary triangle covering hundreds of thousands of square miles of the Atlantic Ocean. Unlike political borders, these boundaries were never officially established. Different authors have drawn the triangle differently, sometimes making it much larger or smaller. Yet regardless of its exact size, this region became associated with disappearances unlike anywhere else on Earth. Ironically, the Bermuda Triangle is also one of the busiest transportation routes in the world. Commercial aircraft cross its skies every day. Massive cargo ships move through its waters, carrying goods worth billions of dollars. Cruise ships filled with thousands of passengers sail safely across the region every year. Millions of people pass through without experiencing anything unusual. And yet, scattered throughout history are incidents that continue to raise difficult questions. Long before the name Bermuda Triangle existed, sailors feared these waters. The Atlantic Ocean has always been unpredictable. Calm seas can transform into violent storms within hours. Thick fog can reduce visibility almost instantly. Powerful currents silently carry vessels far from their intended course. Even experienced captains understood that nature demanded respect. Many ancient sailors believed unknown spirits lived beneath the waves. Strange lights on the horizon, unusual weather, and unexplained sounds often became part of stories passed from one generation to another. As navigation improved during the 19th and 20th centuries, people expected technology to eliminate many of these dangers. Steam engines replaced sails. Radio communication connected ships across vast distances. Aircraft made crossing the Atlantic faster than ever before. Confidence grew. Humanity believed it had finally mastered the oceans. But then came disappearances that challenged that confidence. Ships equipped with modern technology simply failed to arrive. Aircraft disappeared during routine flights. Search teams sometimes found no wreckage, no distress signals, and no clear explanation. Every missing vessel created another unanswered question. Every unanswered question inspired another theory. At first, these incidents were treated as isolated accidents. Investigators examined weather reports, mechanical failures, navigation records, and human decisions. Some cases appeared understandable. Others remained frustratingly incomplete. Yet few people imagined that these separate events would eventually be connected into one of history's greatest mysteries. Everything changed during the middle of the 20th century. In 1950, American journalist Edward Van Winkle Jones published an article discussing several unusual disappearances in the Atlantic Ocean. Rather than presenting each incident separately, he suggested that they might share something in common. His article attracted immediate attention. Readers became fascinated by the possibility that one specific region of the ocean might be responsible for these mysterious losses. Over the following years, additional writers expanded upon the idea. They collected reports from newspapers, military records, and maritime investigations. Incidents separated by decades were placed side by side. Patterns began to emerge, or at least appeared to emerge. Whether those patterns truly existed or were simply the result of selective storytelling remains one of the central questions surrounding the Bermuda Triangle today. The turning point came in 1964, when writer Vincent Gaddis introduced a name that would become famous across the globe: the Bermuda Triangle. Those two words transformed scattered historical events into a single global mystery. Suddenly, disappearances that had once seemed unrelated were connected by a simple geometric shape on a map. Television programs dramatized the stories. Books presented increasingly sensational theories. Newspapers revisited old cases with renewed excitement. Public imagination filled the gaps left by missing evidence. The legend grew larger with every passing year. Before long, the Bermuda Triangle became more than just a location. It became a symbol of humanity's fascination with the unknown. Because whenever evidence disappears, imagination begins its work. The more people learned about the Bermuda Triangle, the more mysterious it seemed to become. Every new book added another unanswered question. Every television documentary introduced another strange disappearance. Over time, the line between verified history and popular legend became increasingly blurred. Some stories were carefully documented through official investigations, while others grew larger each time they were retold. Yet regardless of which version people believed, one truth remained undeniable. The Bermuda Triangle had captured the world's imagination. Among all the incidents associated with this mysterious region, none became more famous than the disappearance of Flight 19. It was the afternoon of December 5th, 1945. The Second World War had recently ended, and military pilots were continuing routine training exercises to sharpen their navigation and survival skills. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers prepared for what should have been an ordinary mission. The flight leader was Lieutenant Charles Taylor, an experienced pilot with thousands of hours in the air. The route was familiar, the aircraft had been inspected, and the weather forecast suggested only minor challenges. Nothing about that afternoon hinted that history was about to be written. The aircraft departed from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale and climbed steadily into the Florida sky. Their mission was simple: fly east over the Atlantic, complete a bombing exercise, then return to base along a planned route. For the first part of the mission, everything proceeded normally. The pilots reached their target, completed the exercise, and began the return flight. Then something unexpected happened. Radio transmissions revealed increasing confusion inside the formation. Lieutenant Taylor reported that both of his compasses appeared to be malfunctioning. He could no longer determine his exact position. Looking down, he saw only endless ocean stretching toward every horizon. Believing he was somewhere above the Florida Keys, rather than east of Florida, he made a decision that may have carried the entire group farther into the Atlantic instead of back toward land. The pilots trusted their leader. They followed him. Minutes turned into hours. Fuel levels continued falling. Ground control operators desperately tried to guide the aircraft home using radio instructions. Several pilots believed they knew the correct direction and suggested turning west toward the setting sun, but uncertainty spread through every conversation. Conflicting opinions filled the radio frequencies. As daylight faded, weather conditions became worse. Clouds thickened. Visibility dropped. The ocean below became darker and more dangerous. Then one final message reached the radio operators. It suggested the aircraft were preparing to ditch into rough water after running out of fuel. Moments later, silence. 5 military aircraft carrying 14 men had disappeared. No confirmed wreckage was ever recovered. No complete explanation satisfied everyone. The mystery of Flight 19 had begun. The United States Navy immediately launched one of the largest search operations in its history. Ships crossed thousands of square miles. Aircraft searched day and night. Experienced rescue crews refused to believe that 5 airplanes could simply vanish. Then the unimaginable happened. One of the rescue aircraft, a PBM Mariner carrying 13 crew members, also disappeared shortly after takeoff. Witnesses aboard a nearby ship reported seeing a brilliant explosion in the sky, leading investigators to suspect the rescue aircraft may have exploded because of a fuel vapor ignition, a known risk for that model. Yet because no wreckage was conclusively recovered, the disappearance became linked to the growing legend of the Bermuda Triangle. Within hours, 27 men had vanished. The ocean revealed nothing. Years later, investigators carefully re-examined Flight 19 using weather records, radio transcripts, navigation charts, and pilot experience reports. Many experts concluded that a combination of navigational confusion, deteriorating weather, rough seas, and fuel exhaustion most likely caused the tragedy. Others remained unconvinced, pointing to the absence of definitive physical evidence. And that is precisely why Flight 19 continues to fascinate the world. Not because we know what happened, but because we never learned every detail. History often leaves behind documents, sometimes photographs, occasionally even wreckage. But in this case, the Atlantic Ocean kept nearly every answer for itself. The disappearance of Flight 19 transformed the Bermuda Triangle from an interesting collection of stories into an international mystery. From that moment onward, every unexplained accident inside the region would be viewed through a different lens. People no longer saw isolated incidents. They saw a pattern. Whether that pattern was real or created by the human desire to connect unrelated events would become the greatest question of all. The disappearance of Flight 19 became the foundation of the Bermuda Triangle legend, but it was only one chapter in a much larger collection of mysterious events. As researchers searched through old records, they discovered other cases that seemed to add more weight to the growing mystery. Ships that left ports and never arrived. Aircraft that disappeared without warning. Crews who vanished, leaving behind only questions. One of the earliest and most famous cases was the disappearance of the USS Cyclops. In 1918, during the final months of the First World War, the USS Cyclops was one of the largest ships in the United States Navy. It was an enormous cargo vessel designed to transport supplies across the ocean. The ship was powerful, modern for its time, and operated by an experienced crew. On March 4, 1918, the Cyclops departed from Barbados, carrying a valuable cargo of manganese ore. More than 300 people were on board, including officers, sailors, and civilian workers. The journey appeared routine. The ship entered the Atlantic and continued toward Baltimore. But it never arrived. No emergency message was sent. No warning was received. No confirmed wreckage was ever discovered. The ship simply disappeared. The loss of the USS Cyclops became one of the greatest maritime mysteries in American naval history. Because the disappearance happened during wartime, investigators considered several possibilities. Some suggested that the ship may have been attacked by an enemy submarine. Others believed the heavy cargo may have caused structural problems, making the vessel unstable in rough seas. Another theory suggested that a sudden storm could have overwhelmed the massive ship. But without wreckage or survivors, no explanation could be proven. The ocean had taken the ship and hidden the evidence. Years later, another mysterious disappearance captured worldwide attention. This time, the mystery involved aircraft. In January 1948, a British passenger plane known as Star Tiger was flying across the Atlantic. The aircraft was considered reliable, and the crew members were experienced professionals. The flight was traveling from the Azores toward Bermuda when communication suddenly became uncertain. The pilot maintained radio contact for much of the journey. There were no reports of serious mechanical problems. There was no clear sign of danger. Then, without warning, the aircraft disappeared. A massive search operation began. Ships and planes searched the surrounding waters, hoping to find survivors or debris. But nothing was found. No confirmed wreckage. No final message explaining what happened. Just silence. Less than a year later, another aircraft disappeared under similarly mysterious circumstances. In January 1949, a British aircraft named Star Ariel took off from Bermuda heading toward Jamaica. The weather conditions were reported to be good. The aircraft was functioning normally. The passengers and crew had no reason to believe anything unusual was about to happen. Then, somewhere above the Caribbean waters, the plane vanished. Again, extensive searches produced no definite answers. The disappearance of Star Tiger and Star Ariel created a disturbing connection in the public mind. Two aircraft, similar region, similar mystery. The Bermuda Triangle legend grew stronger, but not every famous disappearance involved massive military vessels or passenger aircraft. Sometimes, even small private boats became part of the mystery. In December 1967, a cabin cruiser called Witchcraft left Miami, Florida. The owner, businessman Daniel Barak, planned a short evening trip with his friend. The purpose was simple: enjoy the view of Miami's famous Christmas lights from the water. The boat was only a short distance from the coastline. Nothing suggested danger. Then a call reached the Coast Guard. The captain reported that the vessel had experienced a problem and requested assistance. The situation did not sound like a disaster. The Coast Guard immediately responded. But when rescuers arrived at the location only minutes later, the boat was gone, completely gone. There was no wreckage, no floating equipment, no sign that the vessel had ever been there. The disappearance of Witchcraft became one of the strangest small boat mysteries connected with the Bermuda Triangle. Skeptics argued that changing currents, darkness, and the possibility of a sudden mechanical problem could explain the event. Others wondered how a boat so close to shore could disappear without leaving clear evidence. And once again, the ocean provided no answer. As more stories became connected to the Bermuda Triangle, a powerful idea began to spread. Perhaps this was not a collection of accidents. Perhaps something unusual was happening in this region of the Atlantic. But before accepting the mystery, investigators had to ask a more important question. Were these events truly impossible? Or were they examples of how dangerous the ocean can be when humans face its unpredictable power? To discover the truth, researchers would have to look beyond the legends and into the science behind the sea. For decades, the Bermuda Triangle has been surrounded by theories that range from scientific explanations to ideas that belong more to the world of imagination. Some theories are based on real ocean conditions and human experiences. Others were created by curiosity, fear, and the desire to explain what seems impossible. But to understand the true story of the Bermuda Triangle, we must separate the evidence from the legend. Because sometimes the real explanation is not as mysterious as the story, but it can be just as fascinating. One of the most common explanations behind many Bermuda Triangle incidents is something far more powerful than any mystery: the weather. The Atlantic Ocean is one of the most active weather regions on Earth. Tropical storms and hurricanes can develop quickly, creating dangerous conditions for ships and aircraft. A calm ocean can transform into a battlefield within minutes. Huge waves can rise unexpectedly. Strong winds can push vessels far away from their planned routes. Heavy clouds can make navigation extremely difficult. For sailors and pilots traveling before modern technology, these conditions could become deadly. Even today, with satellites, advanced radar systems, and global communication networks, nature remains one of the greatest challenges faced by travelers. Another important factor is the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream is a powerful ocean current that moves through the Atlantic Ocean. It can travel at incredible speeds and carry floating objects over long distances. This means that when a ship sinks or an aircraft crashes into the ocean, debris may quickly move away from the original location. Search teams may arrive expecting to find evidence in one area, while the remains have already been carried somewhere else. This natural movement of water can make investigations extremely difficult. It can create the appearance that something has completely disappeared. But in reality, the ocean may simply have hidden the evidence. Navigation problems have also played an important role in many historical disappearances. Before GPS technology became available, sailors and pilots depended on traditional navigation methods. They used compasses, maps, stars, and calculations to determine their location. A small mistake could create a major problem. If a pilot believed they were in one location while actually being somewhere else, every decision after that point could move them farther away from safety. Over a large ocean with no visible landmarks, even experienced professionals could become confused. The human mind is powerful, but it is not perfect. One popular theory suggests that unusual magnetic activity in the Bermuda Triangle causes compass failures. This idea became one of the most famous explanations behind the mystery. However, scientific research has found no evidence that the region contains magnetic forces strong enough to create unusual problems for modern navigation. The Earth's magnetic field changes naturally from place to place, and sailors have always known that compass readings require careful interpretation. In fact, the Bermuda Triangle is not the only place where magnetic variation occurs. It is a normal feature of our planet. Another theory that gained attention involves methane gas trapped beneath the ocean floor. According to this idea, large releases of methane could reduce the density of seawater and potentially affect ships floating above. Some researchers have explored this possibility in different ocean regions. However, there is currently no strong evidence proving that methane releases caused the famous Bermuda Triangle disappearances. It remains an interesting scientific idea, but not a confirmed explanation. While science provides possible answers, mystery continues to attract people toward the Bermuda Triangle. Some theories claim that ancient civilizations, hidden technology, time distortions, or even extraterrestrial activity are responsible for the disappearances. These ideas have appeared in books, movies, and television programs around the world. They create fascinating stories. They encourage imagination. But they are not supported by reliable scientific evidence. The difference between a mystery and a proven fact is evidence. And when evidence is missing, imagination often takes control. Perhaps the most interesting lesson from the Bermuda Triangle is not about strange forces or hidden secrets. It is about the relationship between humans and the unknown. For thousands of years, people have looked at unexplored places and created stories about what might exist beyond their understanding. Ancient sailors feared the edges of the known world. Explorers searched for lost lands. Scientists studied the deepest oceans and the farthest galaxies. The Bermuda Triangle became another chapter in humanity's endless search for answers. The Bermuda Triangle remains one of the most famous mysteries of the modern age, but perhaps the most surprising discovery is that the legend itself has a history. The mystery did not grow only because of ships and aircraft that disappeared. It grew because of the way humans tell stories. A missing ship becomes a question. A question becomes a theory. A theory becomes a legend. And sometimes, a legend becomes more powerful than the original event. When people hear the words Bermuda Triangle, many imagine a dangerous area of the ocean, where every compass stops working, every aircraft disappears, and mysterious forces control the sea. But the reality is far more complex. The Atlantic Ocean is enormous. Every year, thousands of ships and aircraft travel through this region safely. Millions of passengers cross these waters without experiencing anything unusual. If the Bermuda Triangle truly possessed a supernatural power, modern transportation systems would have revealed clear evidence by now. Satellites would detect unusual activity. Scientists would measure unexplained forces. Navigation systems would record strange failures. But no such evidence has been found. So why does the legend continue? Because humans are naturally attracted to mysteries. We are fascinated by unanswered questions. A solved story gives us an ending. An unsolved story gives us possibilities. The Bermuda Triangle lives in that space between fact and imagination. It reminds us that despite our technology and knowledge, there are still moments when nature surprises us. Consider the people behind these stories. Behind every missing aircraft was a group of pilots who had families waiting for them. Behind every lost ship were sailors who left their homes believing they would return. Behind every investigation were rescue teams searching through dangerous waters, hoping to find survivors. The Bermuda Triangle is not only a mystery about places and events, it is also a story about human lives. People who faced uncertainty, people who showed courage, people whose journeys ended with unanswered questions. Over time, researchers have revisited many famous Bermuda Triangle cases. They studied weather patterns, ship designs, military records, and official reports. Some incidents that were once considered mysterious later received logical explanations. Mechanical failures, severe storms, navigation mistakes, and human decisions explained many events. Other cases remain uncertain because important information was lost over time. Old records disappeared. Witnesses were unavailable. Physical evidence was never recovered. In history, the absence of evidence does not always mean something extraordinary happened. Sometimes it simply means the truth is difficult to recover. Modern technology has changed the way we explore the oceans. Today, ships use advanced navigation systems. Aircraft communicate through satellites. Weather forecasts can warn travelers about dangerous conditions before they begin their journeys. Underwater technology allows scientists to explore places that were once impossible to reach. Yet even with all this progress, the ocean continues to maintain its mystery. The deep sea is one of the least explored environments on Earth. Thousands of meters below the surface, there are mountains, valleys, and creatures that humans have only recently discovered. The ocean teaches us humility. It reminds us that knowledge is a journey, not a destination. Perhaps the real mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is not what happened to the ships and aircraft. Perhaps the real mystery is why this particular story captured the imagination of millions of people around the world. The answer may be found in our relationship with the unknown. Humans have always looked beyond the horizon. We have explored forests, deserts, mountains, oceans, and space. Every unexplored place creates questions. Every unanswered question creates curiosity. And curiosity is what pushes humanity forward. The Bermuda Triangle may not be a place of supernatural events. It may not contain hidden portals or impossible forces, but it represents something equally powerful: the endless human desire to discover the truth. Because every mystery begins with a question, and every question begins with someone brave enough to ask, what really happened? For more than half a century, the Bermuda Triangle has remained one of the world's most recognized mysteries. It has inspired books, documentaries, movies, and countless discussions. It has created fear in some people and curiosity in others. But after examining the stories, the evidence, and the scientific explanations, we arrive at a deeper understanding. The Bermuda Triangle is not simply a story about things that disappeared. It is a story about how humans search for answers in a world that is still full of unknowns. The ocean has always been a symbol of mystery. Before modern maps existed, sailors looked across endless waters and wondered what existed beyond the horizon. They imagined unknown lands, strange creatures, and hidden worlds beneath the waves. Even today, with advanced technology and incredible scientific progress, the ocean continues to surprise us. There are places beneath the surface that humans have never seen. There are questions waiting to be answered. And perhaps this is why the Bermuda Triangle continues to capture our attention. It represents the unknown. The famous disappearances connected with the Bermuda Triangle remind us of the incredible power of nature. The ocean is beautiful, but it can also be dangerous. Storms can appear suddenly. Waves can rise without warning. Strong currents can change the fate of a vessel in moments. For sailors and pilots, respect for nature has always been essential. Technology can help us. Science can guide us. But nature will always remain greater than human control. The Bermuda Triangle also teaches us an important lesson about information. Stories change as they travel through time. A simple event can become more dramatic with every retelling. A newspaper article becomes a book becomes a documentary becomes a worldwide legend. This does not mean every story is false. It means we must always search for the difference between what we know and what we only believe. The strongest mysteries are not those with the most unbelievable explanations. The strongest mysteries are those that encourage us to investigate. The Bermuda Triangle has inspired scientists, historians, and explorers to look deeper into oceans, weather, and human decision-making. Even if the final explanation is based on natural causes, the search itself has increased our understanding of the world. Sometimes, the journey toward the answer is just as valuable as the answer itself. Imagine the countless journeys that have crossed these waters. A pilot looking through a cockpit window at an endless blue ocean. A sailor standing on the deck of a ship under a sky full of stars. A passenger watching waves from the window of a modern aircraft. Most of these journeys ended normally. People reached their destinations. Families reunited. Life continued. But the few journeys that didn't end as expected became stories that lasted for generations. Perhaps somewhere beneath the Atlantic Ocean, there are still secrets waiting to be discovered. Perhaps future technology will reveal answers about some of the disappearances that remain unexplained. Or perhaps some mysteries will always remain part of human history. And maybe that is not a bad thing, because a world without mysteries would be a world without curiosity. A world without questions would be a world without exploration. The Bermuda Triangle reminds us that discovery is not only about finding answers. It is also about having the courage to ask questions. It reminds us that even in an age of satellites, artificial intelligence, and advanced technology, there are still places that humble us. There are still stories that challenge us. There are still mysteries that make us look beyond what we already know. So, is the Bermuda Triangle a place of supernatural power? The evidence says no. Is it a region filled with danger and unpredictable conditions? Like many parts of the ocean, yes. Is it one of the most fascinating stories ever created from the relationship between humans and the unknown? Absolutely. Because the greatest mystery of the Bermuda Triangle may not be what lies beneath the waves. It may be what lies within us, our curiosity, our imagination, and our endless desire to understand the world around us. This was the story of the Bermuda Triangle, a legend born from disappearances, a mystery shaped by time, and a reminder that on our planet, even today, there are still questions waiting beneath the surface.